Well, raising a puppy or a cat has its challenges, but what about adopting an older pet? Dr. Carol Ropka from the Northeast Cat and Dog Hospital joins us to explain how to raise a mature pet. And I kind of went through this with my household with my cat because we're afraid my daughter was suffering from very bad allergies. So I went, oh, who's going to adopt a 7 or 8-year-old cat?
Right.
But you have that fear because everyone wants the little puppy, but
they do.
It has its advantages.
It does, you know, and especially this spring we see so many puppies and kittens out there, and that's kind of what people gravitate to.
Sure.
But you know, sometimes in our lives we don't want that rambunctious puppy and going through the housebreaking and all that stuff. And so if you are thinking about a new pet in your family, think about the older ones.
Yeah.
Pepper here is 9 and was adopted at the age of 8. So Pepper had already had a life's history. Who knows what Pepper had been through. But the thing we know about our older pets is that they tend to be more appreciative of things in life. I think they've been through some of the harsher things. I think they realize what 3 squares a day and laying on a nice blanket at the foot of the bed is all about. And I think they tend to settle into the households a lot easier. You can teach an old dog new tricks. So even if you get a dog like Pepper who is 8 or 9 years old, Pepper can still learn how to sit and stay and heel, because guess what? We're more focused now. We can think a little bit before we have to run and play. And we only want to please. And so they're a little bit more able to anticipate what we want, think about what we need, and listen to us as far as our desires are concerned. And so they're a little bit easier that way. Now, the biggest concern people have about thinking about an older pet is, oh my gosh, if he's already 8, what's going to happen? He's going to start falling apart, medical problems. I'm only going to have him for a few years. But you know what? Pepper's going to live to be probably 15 to 20 years of old. I could see this little boy being 18 years old tootling around. That means we've got another 9 to 10 years that we can have great quality of life with this pet. And so if you are thinking about another pet in your family or a new pet in your family, don't forget the older ones. The shelters, the humane societies, rescue groups. So if you have a specific breed, for instance, Pepper's dad loves Cocker Spaniels. This is his 3rd older Cocker that he's had in his life, and so he goes to the rescue group and he says, let's find one that's maybe had a little harder life, that needs to have those 3 squares and laying at the bottom of my bed, who can appreciate the end of his life.
And ask a lot of questions. Ask if they get along with other pets and children. You're going to know their habits because they're older pets.
Because they're older pets. And so a lot of times it can be a much easier transition into the household, provides you with years and years of great companionship, and be able to be the answer to what you wanted and fit beautifully in your family. So a lot of people who adopt older ones, they just don't look back. And the next time they're up for another adoption, they're getting another older pet. So try to find a room in your heart for a little older one when it comes time to add to your family.
I couldn't imagine passing Pepper up when you see him at, of course, the shelter too. So, of course, he has a home, but we do have Adopt a Pet. But if you have any pet questions, you can email them to, of course, petpeeves@wzzn13.com.